Alan Watts, 1915 to 1973, was a British philosopher, writer, and speaker, best known for interpreting and popularizing Eastern philosophy for Western audiences. Born in Chislehurst, England, he moved to the United States in 1938 and began Zen training in New York. Pursuing a career in academia, Watts became a lecturer and eventually held a position at the American Academy of Asian Studies in San Francisco. He wrote extensively, with over 25 books to his credit, covering topics such as personal identity, the true nature of reality, higher consciousness, the meanings of life, and the pursuit of happiness, blending his insights from major Eastern philosophies, including Buddhism, Taoism, and Hinduism, with Western psychology and philosophy. Watts was a prolific speaker, known for his captivating lectures that made complex philosophical concepts accessible. His work in the mid-20th century played a significant role in the cultural and spiritual awakening of the West, influencing the Beat generation and the countercultural movements of the 1960s. Despite his death, Watts's ideas continue to resonate with many, thanks to the vast collection of recorded talks and sessions that have been preserved and continue to be disseminated through various media platforms. Let's explore 30 famous quotes by Alan Watts. 1. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. Watts encourages embracing change rather than resisting it, suggesting that life is a dynamic and fluid process best experienced by going with the flow. 2. Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. This quote highlights the futility of attempting to capture the essence of one's identity with static definitions, emphasizing the fluid and elusive nature of self. 3. We do not come into this world. We come out of it, as leaves from a tree. Watts challenges the common perception of individuals as separate from the natural world, proposing instead that we are intrinsically connected to and emerge from it. 4. To understand music, you must listen to it. But so long as you are thinking, I am listening to this music, you are not listening. This quote speaks to the importance of fully immersing oneself in an experience without over-analyzing it, to truly understand and appreciate it. 5. You are a function of what the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is a function of what the whole ocean is doing. Here, Watts illustrates the interconnectedness of all things, suggesting that individual identities are expressions of the larger cosmos. 6. The more you know yourself, the more clarity there is. Self-knowledge has no end. You don't come to an achievement, you don't come to a conclusion. It is an endless river. This quote reflects on the ongoing journey of self-discovery and the depths of personal understanding that can be explored. 7. This is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now, and instead of calling it work, realize it is play. Watts advocates for a present-focused, joyful approach to life's tasks, blurring the lines between work and play. 8. The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple. And yet, everybody rushes around in a great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. This quote simplifies the existential quest for meaning, suggesting that the essence of life is simply to live. 9. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. Watts uses a metaphor to suggest that problems or confusion often resolve themselves if not overhandled or overthought. 10. To have faith is to trust yourself to the water. When you swim, you don't grab hold of the water, because if you do, you will sink and drown. Instead, you relax and float. This quote metaphorically speaks to the importance of trust and surrender in navigating life's challenges, emphasizing ease over control. 11. The only Zen you find on the tops of mountains is the Zen you bring up there. Watts reminds us that enlightenment and understanding come from within, not from external locations or circumstances. 12. No valid plans for the future can be made by those who have no capacity for living now. This quote emphasizes the importance of being present and engaged in the current moment as a foundation for future planning. 13. A scholar tries to learn something every day. A student of Buddhism tries to unlearn something daily, highlighting the difference in approach between traditional scholarship and spiritual practice. Watts points to the value of unlearning preconceptions. 14. The greater part of human activity is designed to make permanent those experiences and joys which are only lovable because they are changing. Watts critiques the human tendency to try to make transient moments of happiness permanent, missing the beauty of their impermanence. 15. You don't look out there for God, something in the sky, you look in you. This quote suggests that divinity and enlightenment are to be found within oneself, not in external entities or symbols. 16. Man suffers only because he takes seriously what the gods made for fun. Here, Watts hints at the human tendency to impose seriousness on life, which may inherently be playful or arbitrary. 17. I have realized that the past and future are real illusions, that they exist in the present, which is what there is and all there is. Watts speaks to the concept of time being a construct, with the only real moment being the present. 18. The menu is not the meal. This metaphor suggests that descriptions or representations of things are not the same as the experiences themselves. 19. The best way to control people is to encourage them to be mischievous. Watts discusses the paradox of control and freedom, suggesting that allowing freedom can be a form of guidance. 20. Every individual is a unique manifestation of the whole, as every branch is a particular outreaching of the tree. Emphasizing the uniqueness of individuals as expressions of a greater whole, Watts highlights interconnectedness and individuality. 21. Not what the future holds, but how you hold the future. This quote focuses on the attitude with which one approaches the future, rather than the details of what it might bring. 22. Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you indeed sing, and when you have reached the mountaintop, then you shall begin to climb, and when the earth shall claim your limbs, then shall you truly dance. Watts touches on the transformative journey of life and the paradoxical nature of achieving enlightenment or fulfillment. 23. If you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you'll spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living. That is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. This quote warns against prioritizing money over passion and fulfillment, critiquing the cycle of dissatisfaction it can create. 24. The art of living is neither careless drifting on the one hand nor fearful clinging to the past on the other. It consists in being sensitive to each moment, in regarding it as utterly new and unique, in having the mind open and wholly receptive. Watts offers a balanced approach to life, advocating for presence, openness, and sensitivity to the uniqueness of each moment. 25. You are under no obligation to be the same person you were a minute ago. Highlighting the fluidity of identity, this quote encourages personal growth and change. 26. The more a thing tends to be permanent, the more it tends to be lifeless. Watts reflects on the dynamic nature of life and the vitality found in change and impermanence. 27. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Through this observation, Watts suggests that there is a natural flow to life that does not require haste to achieve outcomes. 28. A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts, so he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusion. This quote critiques the overemphasis on intellectualization at the expense of experiencing life directly. 29. If you study the writings of the mystics, you will always find things in them that will perplex you. If you do not, it means you have not understood them. Watts points out that true understanding of mysticism involves grappling with confusion and uncertainty. 30. The joy of life consists in the inevitable, continual triumph of new values. Watts celebrates the constant evolution and re-evaluation of values as a source of life's joy. Thank you for watching my video on Alan Watts. I hope you found it insightful. I'm curious, which Alan Watts quote resonated with you the most? Please share it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Your support means a lot and helps me create more content for you. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.